So this video is going to be a little longer than normal because, as many of you know, I'm leaving Instagram. And for those that don't know that, I'll explain more why towards the end of the video. But the first thing I wanted to do is really honor how beautiful this experience has been, for the most part. That I have so much gratitude for this space, this community, the conversations we've had. I've really grown out loud, and my first post was in December, I believe, of 2013. So I've been on here for a long time. I've had a lot of conversations on here. I've been through a lot of life. I've ended relationships, started them. Parts of myself have died and other parts have been born. I've been humbled. I've been proud. And, when I started this, I didn't know it would turn into this, The amount of followers it's a city, not even a small city. And that is such an honor to me that you trust me in that conversation, that you want to hear what I have to say, even if maybe you don't like everything I have to say, which is very human and normal. So I have so much gratitude for this space. I met my wife on Instagram. I met some of my best friends on Instagram, and some of those best friends met other best friends of mine and are married, and all of that just means so much. And I think what it demonstrates to me is you never know what an idea will become, what a spark will become, what a light will become that's within you, that you're passionate about. And for me, it became Create the Love. And what it also indicates, and I think we have a hard time, and when I say we, I mean me too, have a hard time letting flow through us, is when what we've wanted to create is maybe no longer exactly what we want to create. And can we allow the death of that and the birth of what's trying to move through us? And I'm in the midst of that birth. What I do know is that this community has been exceptional. I have so much love for you and so much appreciation for you, and the fact that you actually even take the time to learn about how to relate and care about how you show up in the world and care about how you love. I mean, that itself is a healing process. Saying yes to wanting to know more, that's the beginning of all of it. And growing a business on here has just been spectacular. I've had so many gifts from this. And so in leaving, a lot of the misconception is that I'm leaving because that in the leaving there's not this immense amount of gratitude, that the things I don't like about this platform, I don't like the platform. And I speak about how this is this binary thinking that we think is the way that humans are, which is not. We're so filled with nuance, and that's one of the problems with the platform, is it short form content does not allow for nuance. And I get algorithmically why they want to celebrate short form content, but it just drives down our attention spans. And how do you relate well when you can't pay attention to the person in front of you and truly listen, truly hear what they're saying? So the second part is, where can you find me now? Well, I'm doubling down and going deeper on my podcast. You can find that wherever you listen to podcasts. All these links are in my bio. I'm creating a community because I don't want there to be a broker, an algorithm that is deciding our relationship. Like that, I have no interest in that. And I'll get more into the why I'm leaving in a second, but I want to create a community that we get to decide. And it's all about, like, one thing I've learned about relationships and why people come to my work, breakups, frustrations in relating, dating, not knowing whether they should stay or go in a relationship, wanting something more with their life. Like, who am I? And the truth is that no matter what brings you to my work, or really any personal growth, is that it just comes back to you. It's always about you. And that doesn't mean the circumstances and the people in our lives can't impact us, of course, but it always comes back to, like, finding a deeper connection to ourselves. I remember hearing the quote that the journey to find yourself is the same as the journey to find God. If you find God, you'll find you. If you find you, you'll find God. And I think that's so apt. And, you know, as a recovering Catholic, I never liked the word God. I had a hard time relating to it. But now, through the journeys of my life, I can at least be with that word and realize that it's just about touching the totality of who we are, being in connection with other people, and really honoring how sacred that is, how sacred this is, how sacred being in nature is, all of that, the miracles that are all around us that, you know, I think we often forget to notice, and I think we forget to notice and know that within ourselves. And it really is like, how do we come back to treating ourselves as sacred? And our relationships often remind us that we don't, or we don't treat others in that way, or both. So the community is about stepping into alignment. It's not focused solely on relating. It's focused on, hey, how do we get the information that the world is giving us and actually use it to liberate ourselves? And you know, like a beautiful cherry on top of the experience of closing this out is, of closing out Instagram, is that, you know, we just published a book, my wife and I, called Liberated Love, and it's about that, like living with that intention from relationship. Like, why don't we use this relationship to come fully alive? And then why don't we use the frictions of every area of our lives to do that? So yeah, you can go to the link in my bio again, and there's a link to sign up for the waitlist for the community, which is going to launch to the list first, and there'll be bonuses and all the things for that. And we'll be kicking off July 1st with a 30-day challenge for people in the membership to get, you know, what does it mean to live an aligned life? We're going to be really diving deep into that and holding a bar, a standard for one another, you know, surrounding yourself with people who want more from life. Instead of thinking there's something wrong with you that you do, it's actually starting to be with people who want that too. And you see that you're not the problem. That how you perceive your possibility and your potential that you haven't stepped into, that's actually the problem. And the good thing is about perception is it's not who you are. You can change it. Also, I'm going to be focusing a lot on events now. I want to be in person. I want to connect with you in community. I want you to meet other people in community. And as the world becomes more digital, which I totally understand, and that's the path that some of us are really going to choose, is to double down on technology, and others of us will get closer to the earth, and there's no moralization of either of those paths. I just know for me that I know life before technology, and I got to taste that. I got to get on my bike and ride in the neighborhood and there not be a cell phone on me. That cultivated a sense of trust with parents, that also cultivated a sense of courage and autonomy that I think sometimes is lacking today. And I think all previous generations thinks the next generation is effed, and so I'm mindful of that. But I actually do think that social media, we will look back and see it as the smoking of our time. You can't look at all of the mental health information and not be like, something's up. And it's pretty obvious where the delineation started. And I'll get more into why I think this has such a dramatic impact on me, and also and on why it has an impact on the collective. So YouTube is where I'm going to be posting. My podcast already gets posted there. I do shorts there. That is going to be really, we're going to be crushing it on there. I'm interested in these long form conversations that dance in the nuance of life and really explore the complexities of what it means to be a human, instead of these perceived binaries, these perceived extremes, you're pro, against, you're left, you're right. It's like, it's all constructs. It's like, no, let's build the bridge to each other again. That's what I want, is like, enough of this bullshit, enough of this fake shit, enough of this bullshit virtue signaling that's actually void of virtue, that's all over social media. It's just like, I actually am tired of it. I'm tired of the incessant amount of information, while also recognizing the paradox that I am part of that information. And so my nervous system has been talking to me for a while. My soul has been talking to me for a while and saying, like, hey, there's something with social media you need to explore. And when I first dove deep into that, it was like, I'm gonna delete it. I gotta get rid of it. Because that's what we do when we don't know how to relate to something. And so, you know, there's the recognition that in making, I got, honestly, like hundreds, if not thousands, of messages from you saying, can you leave it up? I have so many of your posts saved. Can you leave it up? And yeah, again. And I realized that there's like 11 years of art, of writing, of thoughts, of my transformation, my consciousness, my everything, your thoughts, your, you know, it's all on here. And I do realize that it's really actually, it would be sad to just get rid of all of that. It would be. And my wife asked me yesterday, how does it feel letting go of Instagram? And I said, it feels like a peaceful goodbye, like the right step. Maybe I took a long time to get there, but I'm here. And I've been afraid of, like, what happens if I lose it? What happens? How do you run a business without social media? What do I do without Meta? You know that quote, what if you fall? Darling, what if you rise? And I know that, like, I've left things before, I've finished things before, I've completed things before, not always with grace, not with a video like this, but I learned through the relationship with my wife how important it is. You know, there's a saying that you could tell a lot about a person by how they finish things. And what is finished? You know, I don't know. I don't know what's coming forward. I'm living the questions that I'm talking to you about. But I can't ignore the call that there's something about this platform that I can't be in relationship with anymore. I feel like this platform is very extractive. And I've explained, and the link is in my bio, in the episode that I did why I'm leaving here. It's because the relationship with this platform is very extractive. It asks, even if you're a creator, even if you're not a creator who has businesses on here, I just think it's extra amplified for creators whose businesses are on here, is that, like, the algorithm's always a mystery. You're never gonna know how it works. They're not telling you how to win. They're telling you, try this, try that. Because what they're doing is bringing in more data to see how they can monetize more attention. Now, the thing is that I actually don't think the intention of this platform started out with any sort of maliciousness. What I do think is that when it was bought by Meta and by shareholders, when shareholders owned it, the whole purpose for a shareholder is to make more money. That's the number one intention. And when making more money is the only intention, with no feedback mechanism to understand the impact of all the ways we try to extract more attention and come for every second of your life, when we don't have a feedback mechanism to see, is this actually hurting people, what we're doing in this constant need to get more from the people on this platform, to keep them on their fucking phone instead of in their lives, because they don't give a fuck about you being present in your life. They don't. And again, not malicious, because even the they I'm saying is the entity that exists in the need for endless profit with no feedback mechanism to the impact of the behaviors. What I'm saying is, it's an entity that lacks empathy and compassion. And because it lacks those things, it's like being in a relationship with a narcissist. And, you know, I've had lots of people say, why don't you just hire someone to run your social media? And I'm like, I tried that. Everyone gets to a place of psychological strain. And I said, it's like hiring someone to date an abusive person for you. You know the harm it's causing you. You've witnessed it cause to other people, and you're going, wow, I can't in good conscience ethically do that without guardrails at least to make sure their mental health is. And again, everything I'm saying, you might be like, not true for me. Great. That's called discernment. I'm talking about my experience and what I need and what I witness and what I see. I spoke at a business conference called Monetize Your Mind, and I asked all these entrepreneurs, who has social media? Everybody. Who feels strain and stress and doesn't really feel like if they could build a business without it, they would? Almost everybody. But yet, we've agreed collectively that this is how you do it. Now, interestingly, from a nervous system perspective, you've never actually experienced something. Your body, the biological part of your body, is a species, right? We're a being. We're not consciousness, just that's all we are. We are actually in a biological body that ages. There are realities to this. We have an amygdala and a nervous system. And when nowhere in nature has there ever been a creation that you have that is available, like the content you put online. So regardless of whether you're a business person or not, the content you've put online is available for judgment, criticism from not just people you know, but strangers. And so that's always happening in the research. When people are going on dates and their phone is on a table, even face down, they're not as vulnerable. They're being pulled to another world that's saying, is there something more important happening? Is there another moment I could be in instead of this one? It's robbing us of presence. And presence is actually life, not the future, not the past, not thinking about Instagram or Facebook. It's actually right here, right now, the deliciousness of a conversation, being in the company of people. That's why one of the first things I'm going to do is an analog retreat. Get rid of your goddamn phones, get them out of here. We're going to get back to how it works, to our bodies, to true connection. And then what's possible from there, where there's not the noise, when we got rid of the thing that's actually preventing us from really tapping into the juicy genius that's deep within us. And remember, this isn't a rejection of technology as a whole. This is saying there are parts of it that are not helping us. They're actually hurting us. So not only is your nervous system constantly recognizing you're being evaluated, which puts you in hypervigilance, which maybe you wonder why you have anxiety. There's a good answer. Secondly, not only is it evaluating you, but there's a non-human entity, an algorithm, constantly evaluating you. And that one changes all the time, because just when you think you got to figure it out, different. Gives you a little virality, gone. A little love bomb, bye. And if you say the wrong thing, out. Or shadow banned, right? All these things that are actually trying to curate speech and expression. And I have a lot of thoughts on that, on how that is being used to shape narratives. Like, it's crazy to me the amount of censorship that has occurred of truthful information, documented. That's a fact. What I'm saying, not up for debate. And information that people could have used to make better, more informed choices for their lives. And I'm not fucking here for that. Because I don't know any productive family, relationship, community, culture, or country that thrives on silencing and censoring multiple perspectives. And like, really, what is the ultimate health of a relationship? A commitment to truth. And that can be subjective. Of course, truth is, they're both objective and subjective, but the most healthy relationships in the world hold space for two subjective realities. And through merging these different experiences, we are inherently wiser and brighter because of the diversity of thought. And, as Africa Brooks said, we want diversity of everything but thought. And, that creates mono thoughts, mono cultures, mono perspectives. And I think there's a richness in sitting in the space of one another. And there's also a freedom in labeling that our relationship to something isn't actually helping us anymore, even though it could have previously. So if you want to stay up to date on the events I'm going to be doing I'm going to do a large one as well, where we dive deep into the self and create community and celebrate and dance and exercise and do all the things. You can just go to the newsletter, which you click in the link in my bio, and all the links I've talked about are there. And yeah, I'm ready for more. You know, one thing that, if I was to look back at the creation of Create the Love, one of the things I see is that I built a business in somebody else's backyard. And that doesn't mean I'm not grateful for the yard I've been in and the renting and leasing I've been doing. It's just, I don't have sovereignty and autonomy over my creation. I'm powerless in this relationship. And I've been consenting to that. I'm not a victim of that. I've benefited greatly from the, you know, before I wasn't exchanging my voice to be on here. I wasn't exchanging anything. There wasn't a cost, so to speak, that I could perceive. But now I see there's an immense cost to self-expression, authenticity, truth. And, you know, David Hawkins' work, he talks about how authenticity is the highest frequency, the highest vibration. It's 400 times more powerful than love. And in our book, Liberated Love, we talk about love is actually a fierce dedication to the truth. To me, love is truth. It is authenticity. It is bringing the truth forward to the sacredness of our relationships, interpersonal, romantic, collective, this one. And this is my experience, maybe not yours, and maybe it will inform yours. But I do want to finish by saying thank you. And I might pop on here every once in a while to share a little more if something comes up for me. But otherwise I will have no access to it. I have a team who will have access to it. I will give them a video to it. I don't want to miss, you know, like if you have something you need, you can email customer service at createthelove.com. For the next 30 days, I'm going to be celebrating with top 30 posts of the last over 10 years. And yeah, I'm really grateful. I'm so grateful. It feels like a beautiful completion. And there's just so much love here. Thank you.